Hi everyone, hello there. Now I'm asking the questions today is, are you ready to drop the beliefs, fears and negativity that hold you in a state of financial or any other form of struggle which involves scarcity? So it could be scarcity of money, scarcity of helpful people, scarcity of energy, like do you feel like you're fatigued? And all of this is about the frequency of prosperity. Now I'm going to focus on abundance and money. I'm just going to type in here because then I can see you. Once I type in, I can see who's here eventually. Right, yeah, I'm going to be focusing on the frequency of prosperity today. But first of all, I'm going to do a quick grounding and clearing guided meditation, I guess you'd call it, so that you can start to raise your vibration and start the week as you wish to go on. So drop me a comment or a heart if you're here. Hi Tracy, great to see you. Great to see you here. I'm going to let a few people come on online before I get started. So drop me a comment or something if you're here. It's a little bit slow this morning getting going with the old Facebook Live. So here we are. It's Monday again and it's November the 4th. Can you believe we're in November? I'm already seeing twinkles of Christmas everywhere. But it's also, you know, this is a great month because many people are saying to me things like, I feel bad that I haven't achieved what I wanted to achieve this year, or this year has been blah, blah, blah. And, you know, November isn't the end of the year. I know it's towards the end of the year, but we're not there yet. We've got a whole 2 months before the end of the year, pretty much. And so it's not too late for whatever you're manifesting to manifest. And it's not too late for you to turn this year around. You know, 2 months is 1/6 of the year. That's an important amount of time. You know, we mustn't forget to be grateful to be here. Hi, JC. Thank you, lovely. Hi, Lena. Nice to see you. We mustn't forget that November it's not like someone's come down with a, you know, a finish sign and say, this is it, it's over. What have you achieved this year? You know, that's your ego. That's not your higher self. You've got to recognize that every moment that you're alive, every moment that you're present, you can receive good energy. You can be attuned in to high frequencies. You can tune into the frequency of prosperity, to love, to the great I am presence. Hi, Benny. Lovely to see you. And that means that at any moment, it doesn't matter whether you call it 2019, 2020, 1975, it doesn't matter. It's about you being alive and present. So please get ready to drop any negativity that you have about yourself, about this year, about what you may or may not have achieved, about any kind of labeling that you've done for 2019, because it isn't over yet. And you've got to take your power back. You've really got to take your power back. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you so much for being here. So I want to talk about the frequency of prosperity today. I've already done a preamble, but there was no one here, so I'll do it again. And I want to talk about clearing your energy around struggle, around scarcity, you know, getting onto the frequency of prosperity and clearing fear, beliefs, negativity, maybe even past karma around it isn't a one-time thing. You don't ever get to a place where you go, oh, I've done it. That's it. There's always a ceiling, you know, like I built this business from absolutely nothing, from having less than $100 in the bank, you know, and kept going for 16 years. And I can remember when earning $100 was a huge deal to me. You know, and thinking all I've got to make this week is $300 and that will cover my rent and I'll be able to buy some horse food and I'll be able to put some petrol in the car. And that was my goal. And you know, and then as life rolls forward and, you know, the economy changes as well and you start to need more money. Like there's a certain amount of money you need to support a business. let alone just yourself or your family. So, and there's never any shame in how much you receive or you allow yourself to receive, or you ask for. Like, there's no limit to the abundance in a universe. That's a ego perspective. That's a way of looking at the world through the filter of fear and not enoughness. And so we never stop doing our work around this. So that's why it's useful to begin, if you've never begun looking at your negativity around prosperity. Hi, Suzanne. I just saw you pop up here. Hi, Rosie. Yeah, that's right. Things do seem to cost more and more these days, JC, but also we can't say that. I really stop myself from getting into those conversations, because that's an affirmation. You know, it's so easy to say, you know, oh, you know, I seem to be spending more and more, or it's more expensive. I mean, you do notice those things, but if we understand, tune into, and believe in the frequency of prosperity, that there is unlimited abundance, it comes from our source, and it doesn't matter what label is on the pint of milk that you buy, or the rent, or whatever. It's actually, you've got to keep your vibration to a state where it's not a problem to you. Whereas if you start going into fear, if you imagine the frequency of prosperity as being like a golden tunnel or a channel of light that surrounds you, and it's nothing to do with how good you are, how professional you are, what you look like. It's nothing like that. You know, it's about everyone has a channel of prosperity, and everybody can tune into it. And of course, in this duality where we live, we're physical as well as spiritual. So there are physical things we can do to activate the frequency of prosperity. And one of those things is work. But, you know, I mean, in my lifetime, the kind of work that people can do has completely changed. When I started out as a healer, I didn't even have a glimmer that I would be doing all of my work full time on the internet, and that I didn't even have to have a massage table set up, or, you know, have an office. Now I have an office, but it's to do this work. So the platform for how we earn is changing always. And if we only believe this is all I'm going to get, this is the only way I'm going to get it, then we actually start to choke off that channel of light, and it becomes, you know, like a pipe that's clogged. And it needs to be cleaned out. And what's in that pipe are our beliefs about limitation, maybe our lack of imagination or openness to the divine, and negativity about things that we've been through, beliefs we've picked up from mass consciousness, from our parents, from the people that surround us, television, media, you know, all of those kind of things will be in that tube, clogging up how that flow of abundance comes to you. And so that alone, that one belief changed things for me. It started to change things, because I started to realize that it wasn't conditional, that all I had to do was work on myself, which is true of everything, is that we have to work on ourselves. What we carry with us in our energy, and this is why working with angels is so powerful, working with energy is so powerful, because when we learn about working with energy and angels, angels are expert transmuters, which means that they turn the negative energy into a different form, positive energy. So, but the way that they do it is that they help us to release the negative energy. I'm seeing angel lights all around me at the moment, and they replace it with divine love, so that your negativity, when you're willing to release it, is burnt off, if you like, evaporated, and then you're no longer carrying it like a big heavy cylinder around your middle of heavy energy that is negativity about your life, about things that you've been through, traumas, bad experiences, and those memories and thoughts and reactions and fears have all turned into this heavy, dark energy. And then you probably have connected with that heavy, dark energy when you've spoken to someone who's been in a negative state. You've probably felt it as well as heard it. and sensed that they're carrying this heavy burden with them. And so that's what we transmute when we work with angels, is that we start to be willing to release what doesn't serve us. We work through it, we understand it, and then we give it into the light to be transmuted. And then we more easily change the thoughts and beliefs that we have around whatever subject. So, hi Dee, I'm just going to say hi to a few people. Hi Joe, Julie, hi Petra. It's good to see you here. We're sending you love. Hi Poncho. Good morning. Thank you. I've got two backdrops that I really love, but I like this one the best at the moment. Hi Stacey. So we're talking about dropping the negativity that is around finances. So before we do our energy healing, then, seeing that more people have popped on, I wanted to talk about this because not long ago, I had a really great session with a therapist, and I won't tell you what kind of therapist because I don't want to identify them, but it was something that I really needed a lot of help with that I didn't have expertise in, and this person really, really helped me. And when we got to the end of the session, I had to buy some products from this person. When we got to the end of the session and I had my card out ready to pay, I said, "How much is it?" And she went, and I said, "Pardon?" And she said, and I said, "Just tell me how much it is." And she told me, and she said, "I'm so sorry, is that okay?" And I was like, "Yes, of course it's okay. I want what you've got to offer." And I knew that, by buying some of these products, it was going to be a little bit more expensive. So it's no problem. But it reminded me that so many healers, therapists, light workers, visionaries, people, women with sensitives with great businesses, they've got their light to shine out to the world. They're ready to do it. They do it well, but they're afraid of asking for money for it. And that is exactly what I've been talking about, is it's an energy of fear. So what happens is that you either undercharge, you don't charge at all and you give things away, you overcompensate because of your guilt or fear about asking for money. So you maybe, this is something I used to do, give away too much time. And you don't attract the right number of people into your business to be able to pay your bills. And that's why so many healers and therapists and psychics of all kinds just either give up or resign themselves to being in poverty. And it's actually the completely wrong thing to do, because one thing, if you don't charge appropriately and you actually are embarrassed about asking for what you ask for a session or for your products, you attract the wrong kind of people. You attract people because you're vibrating poverty. So you might attract some lovely people as well. It doesn't mean all the people that you attract are not right, but you'll also attract the people that either want to take from you. I can remember when I undercharged and I worked from home, and my toilet was out the back. So people used to come to my healing room and then go, "Can I use the toilet?" And I'd let them move through the back of the house. Well, things started going missing, jewelry, crystals, things that I had on my windowsill, because I was attracting the wrong kind of people. My prices were too low. You attract people who go, "Oh, can I pay you in 6 installments?" And there's nothing wrong if you're offering payment plans, but I'm talking about if you're doing like $80 sessions and then someone shows up and says, "Oh, I haven't got my wallet," or "Oh, do you mind if I pay you next week?" Where you haven't made a contract with them. There's nothing wrong with payment plans. It's actually a really great thing because it allows people to build prosperity while they're working with you, if you're into that. But the energy is wrong, is what I'm saying. The other thing is that you're actually thinking that people out there don't have enough. So not only are you holding a poverty vibration for yourself, you're holding a poverty vibration for everybody out there. And which is actually, if you think about it, a bit insulting, because if you assume people can't pay for your services, you're sending a kind of weird message out there. So you shouldn't do that. You should just ask for what you need. And I used to do this. I used to be apologetic. I used to overgive. I used to give away. I'd feel bad at the end of a session for asking for the money, and sometimes I'd let people go free, and then later I'd be crying because I'd just given away my services, time and energy for almost nothing or nothing. And I still didn't have enough money to pay my own bills. So it's a really weird vibration message to send out there. And it's something that really needs some deep healing. And you need to clean up that around looking at what are my beliefs, because you can't project them out there. So no matter what it is that you do, if you're holding shame, guilt, negativity about yourself or anyone else, yeah, Benny, Benny sells crystals, so does Joe, actually. Benny and Joe are together on here, not, on the feed. So yeah, and it's great to have that generosity sometimes. Like sometimes I've just felt it's the right thing to give a book away, or it's just been the right thing in the moment to give someone a crystal that I might have. But it has to feel right. If you're doing it because of fear, then it's not actually going to, they say what you give always comes back to you. It doesn't if you're doing it from a place of fear. You're actually taking from yourself, because if you don't look after yourself first. So you can think about it from the perspective of anything that you do, where you maybe say yes, maybe you need a rest on the weekend and someone asks you to help them move house or to give them a lift somewhere, and you don't have the energy to do it, but you say yes out of an energy of guilt, then you're actually draining yourself, and that's going to be doubly draining because you really don't want to do it, and you're injecting a kind of negativity into the relationship because you're going to have a tiny bit of resentment there. So sometimes we all give stuff away when really we don't want to, and that always in some way boomerangs back in a negative way. I can remember giving an outfit I really liked away to somebody because she said she liked it. She was a friend, and later she told me that, and I was like, oh, a bit gutted I'd given it away. And later she told me she'd given it to someone else, and I was like, I wish she'd given it back to me, because if it's not right in that moment, you're not being aware of where you're coming from. You've got to come back to your own stuff. So a few more people have come on. Hi, Nicola. Hi, Karen. Hi, Chris. Hey, Michelle. So Joe says she does that too. And Benny says, I want to give everything away instead of charging. It feels good in the heart, but not in the pocket. Exactly. So what I want to say to you is there's nothing wrong with being a generous heart. And Benny, I know you are a very generous person. There's nothing wrong with that, but you've got to put boundaries around it. And and that first boundary has to be about being self-responsible. So when you think about the energy of prosperity and abundance, we recognize that not only am I connected to a channel of infinite abundance, so is everyone else. And everyone else has their own work to do around that. Two, we're not only here to be abundant, to be of service, to learn about unconditional love. We're also here to learn about self-responsibility and independence. And that's not independence from God. That's independence from leaning on other energies to support us. So I know that when I was broke, I had to have a kind of account going in a local shop. They were very kind to allow me to buy horse food and things like that off of them. I probably couldn't have got through life without that. But it felt so much better when I didn't have to lean on other people to support me. And I didn't have any debt out there, and I didn't feel that kind of karmic energy. Two, it is a spiritual lesson to be independent and self-responsible. And the more that you have, the more then you have to share. So when your cup is full, you can easily think, oh, I'm going to support that charity, or I'm going to rescue that dog, or I'm going to sponsor that child, or I'm going to, whatever it is that you want to do, you feel safe about doing it. You're doing it from a place of balance and positive energy. And the more you have, the more you have to share. Now, I want to say, I think a lot of spiritual people feel we remember heaven, and this is going to sound woo-woo to some people, and frankly, I don't care, because that's what I teach, woo-woo. But woo-woo makes sense in the physical world. When we start to do it on a practical level, we start to understand it, it then starts to heal something within us, and that is the point of it. We remember maybe past lifetimes, maybe our time in the light, when there was no lack or scarcity, where it was everything was all just one, and we were one with everyone. And we want to mimic that. We want to bring that through, and we know that we are working towards that. Goosebumps. We're working towards that. We're working towards oneness. We're working towards a time where it's heaven on earth, where we are sharing, where there is no racism, prejudice, people who are less than in some people's judgy perspectives, people who are suffering. You know, I went out to Uluru for the closure of the climb, and it was wonderful in so many ways. But the moving thing is that it was giving back. It was giving credit. It was recognizing the equality, the wisdom, the laws of the Onanu, and the absolute contrast for me was that I went onto the community for the first time, and there is a multi-million-dollar resort, which is amazing, and thousands of people go every day, and most people won't get to see the community, because the community isn't open to the public, and neither should it be, because for God's sake, they need their privacy. But there's poverty there. Now, that is within 20 odd kilometers of a rich resort, and that's not the way that life should be, is it? It's abundance for all, and at the same time, there's people there that are happy, joyous, loving, happy to share and what they have. So this is what we're moving towards, and I think that on a deep level, so many spiritually awakened people remember that. But the thing is that we're learning at the moment is that we can't deprive ourselves in order for other people to be okay. And that's on every level: physically, emotionally, energetically, financially, and in all ways. So it's about letting go of that negativity and that fear belief around prosperity and abundance, and recognizing how it's layered. You know, if you are always giving your products and services and energy away and not looking after yourself, then where else are you doing that? And are you suffering from fatigue? Is because you're just sending a message out into the universe, which is basically energy that reflects back at you all the time. So you're saying, I believe in scarcity. I believe there's not enough. There's not enough. There's not enough. And so what do we experience in our bodies, in our lives, is not enoughness. So it's about changing that. Okay, keeping an eye on the time. So this is a really great time, because we're going through all that we're going through right now. It's like there's a great big torch being shone on stuff. That's how I'm seeing it. It's on relationships. It's on how our patterns are playing out in the world and what's reflecting back at us. And it's not in a guilt kind of way. It's in a way of like, oh, I get that now. I'm going to change it. One of the things that I did to change scarcity in my life is I used to go and do meditations around the place, and I used to love it, and it served my business and the community very well for many years, and I loved it. And then I started to not love it. I started to get tired. I started to get exhausted. I started to get a few rude people. I started to feel like, oh God, I've got to go out and do this. And it was only like $20 a person to come, which used to be great abundance. But then it started to feel like it was taking a lot of time and energy. So I just went, okay, this is scary, but I'm going to stop doing it. And I stopped doing it because I realized I was doing it from a place of scarcity. So what are you doing in your life that is coming from a place of scarcity that feels a bit scary to stop, but you need to stop? Maybe it's charging too little. Maybe it's like, that was my lowest priced service, so I've stopped it, and I'm no longer undercutting and draining myself in that way. And then something new came in and replaced it, which was much more abundant. So it's about changing what you do in life that is not bringing you enough of energy. Yes, Chris says the feeling of not enough is perpetuation, depletion. Yes, yes it is. Never enough. Yeah, so we've got to change that. There is enough. I am enough. And then start to recognize that there's the great I am presence. Imagine it like a beautiful white light shining above your head, like a huge ball of infinite energy. And that infinite energy is what becomes made manifest for us. And if the more that you connect with that, you feel it drawing into you through your being. You feel it forming a column of light around you. And within that is health, energy, money. And the more you allow yourself to receive it, and I mean really receive it, I think some people just kind of stand in it like standing in the sunlight, but they don't let it drop in. The more you let yourself receive it, the more you affirm there is enough, that I'm connected to infinite whatever, then the more that you will receive, and you start to heal up those tears in your energy field, those spots where you're always draining, and you clear out those cords that are draining you. Yes, Jo says she quit her casual job to focus on business. Patra, my job. Yeah. So sometimes we do things just because of the fear that there's not anything else out there. And I think I was doing that with my meditations. And if you ever came to my meditations, you know, they were great. I'm not blaming anybody. It was just that all of a sudden it just started to get tiring for me. And that was a sign. That was the angels telling me, time to stop that. Everything has a life. Everything has a cycle. We can't expect everything to stay the same forever. And when I stopped, woo, something amazing happened. And I learned to start to do other things that attracted abundance. And now I'm doing things that are so much more aligned with who I am and what I do. And I'm financially supported, which is another thing, that when you're nourished, when you are nourished by the work that you do, when you are abundant, when you feel like not that anxiety and fear and struggle and sweating about the bills, you serve from a much deeper place. You can do what the universe, the angels, what God, I am presence, your soul contract wants you to do. You're not doing this roller coaster of energy all the time. You can't do it from that place. You can't do it from that place. So let's do a quick clearing, and then I'm going to, this is what I'm teaching about this week in Energy Skills for Empaths. They're going to have 90 minutes of this, and then we're going to do a big activation healing. So if you're interested in this work, you can do one-on-ones with me. I do soul clarity sessions is all about this. Or you can join up for my next program, which I'm going to be starting to launch very soon. But this is the work that I'm doing now because it's needed. Light workers, depleted light workers, it's not a good thing. It's not how we're meant to be. Hi, Ida. Yes, ready for abundance instead of struggle. Struggle is awful. I've done it. It's awful. It's just so unhealthy. And it's not fair. And don't you just know that you're not meant to live like that? Like, isn't there a little voice, a truth inside of you that go, I'm not meant to live like this. I'm not meant to live like this. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes for a second if you'd like a quick energy clearing. And take a deep breath and come back inside of you. Just settle inside of you and make that intention. I'm ready to tune into the frequency of prosperity. I'm ready to drop struggle. I'm ready to drop negativity. Please guide me, angels. Please help me. And now I want you to visualize again and tune into the infinite I am presence. So know that when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about God, the divine intelligence, the source, whatever your name is fine. And feel its power. And I want you to now ask for it to protect you. So imagine this light coming down around and over you, completely enveloping you. Like a strong channel or tube of light. And see that that light is living energy. It's pure white. And it's got intelligence in it, cells in it that are moving. And then I want you to open up your crown chakra. Just imagine it like a flower opening. And you're going to start to breathe and receive that energy. This is called sourcing or connecting to source. You're going to breathe that energy into your body. And imagine it, as soon as you open your crown chakra, you are allowing that energy to flood through you. And I ask for and invite the presence of Archangel Michael. I ask for and invite the presence of the Ascended Masters. I ask for and invite the presence of the elementals, and any other beings of light who can help with this intention. And just feel that light flooding through you, your mind, your body, your torso. You might start to heat up a bit. And we'll ask Archangel Michael to cut away and clear any negativity and fear that you are holding, either collectively or personally, from any lifetime, including this one, that is holding you in a state of lack, limitation, and struggle, and fear around prosperity. I want you to take a long, deep breath. And as you exhale, imagine heavy energy lifting out and pushing out from your body. My neighbor is helping with his leaf blower. So that's helpful. Imagine it just all blasting out from you like black clouds or even calcified energy sitting around your hips. I'm feeling it very much in the hips and stomach area. Some of you, it's right in the third eye. And breathe. Very good. And then just 3 times, I allow myself to receive. I allow myself to receive. I allow myself to receive. And make a deep vow that you are no longer going to undervalue yourself or give away the abundance the universe gives you before you look after yourself. And looking after yourself doesn't have to be on a kind of a slim line. It can be an abundant one, a much bigger version. That's very good. And now just sort of imagine yourself as already filled up, fueled with enough. You're nourished, you're nurtured, you're energized, there is enough in your bank account. You're not worrying about where it's all going. You're just letting yourself be in this flow of abundance. And now Archangel Michael's surrounding your aura with a beautiful electric blue, just like a shield around you, so that all the healing that we've done is on the inside and you're protected and your channel of light is protected too. And this is how you start your week. So if you want to set any intentions for today or for the week, just go ahead. And I'm going to pull you a card for this week. We'll just go with one. Right. What a beautiful card. Amazing. And I actually put something up over the weekend with a wave in it because of the waves of energy that are coming in at the moment, which are really helping us to see what needs to heal. This card is take charge of this situation. And it shows Moses with his hands up. You know, he's doing the energy work. So what it's saying to you is you need to take charge of the situation of struggle in your life, lack, scarcity. It's time for you to take your power back, to take control of it, and to start to look for ways to heal it energetically on the inside, clear away your saboteurs, and then start to do something, and as well start to take action in the physical world. There's probably something you can do straight away in the physical world that will get the ball rolling. So this is time for you to take charge of this, to no longer be a victim of it, to no longer struggle with it. That's what the angels, that's what ascended masters want for you. That's why you're a light worker. That's why you're awake. That's why you're spiritually interested, because you're supposed to be doing the work. This isn't just about having a bowl of crystals in your house and doing a few things, a bit of a nod to it. This is about actually doing the work. So thank you all so much. I love woo-woo, says Cheryl. Yes, me too. That's my life. Ready for abundance? Yeah. Lena says, I needed you. You must be in the Northern Hemisphere, Lena, where it's still Sunday night. Setting my intentions for tonight. Thank you. That's great. That's so good. I'm so glad. So thank you so much. If there's any questions, let me know. I'm going to be writing a bit of a blog on this afternoon. So if you're not signed up for my newsletter yet, go over to rachelscoltock.com, and you can sign up and you will get a couple of good meditations, but you'll also actually might change the meditation and put an abundance one in there. But you also will get my blog every week where I write about things that you can do to help yourself spiritually and with your abundance. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Angel blessings. Oh, and the Empath Soul Tribe, if you're not a part of it, it's my free Facebook group. Thanks, Petra. Thank you, JC. Oh, New York. Yay. Thanks, Benny. We'll have to catch up soon. Take care.